A warm and pleasant good evening to you all. Most importantly, I would like to pay my heartfelt condolences to the late kakali patowary. Someone so special like hers could never be forgotten. Well, in my 14 years of life, I have never experienced any of my loved or near ones being traumatized by a particular person. The TV, the internet, the books, and a web series has resulted in a deep uprising thought in my mind, as well as the backlashes faced by the women not only in India but around the globe. I believe that the newer generation is a stronger and a vast knowledge one compared to the older one. So, we have the capacity and will to bring this type of age to an end. Like on this auspicious occasion, these are just the beginning of some of my few thoughts and views on how a woman struggles in her day-to-day life. Most importantly, to get a better world, I think we should all give the respect that a woman deserves. The power is a very inevitable thing. It is being viewed differently through gendered lens, and it is most often associated with men, because men are taught from their childhood to bring the uphold for their household, community, their own self, and their family. But when a woman flexes her power, she is often summed as a zero. I feel that is the wrongest step a community or society can take against a woman. A woman sacrifices her entire life for the happiness of a particular person. She changes her nature, her behavior, and even her looks to bring happiness in someone's face. She gives birth to the next specimen, so we are all aware about the fact that giving birth is the second most painful thing after being burned alive. So just imagine the amount of pain a woman must go through in her entire lifetime. A woman not being deserved, it's a very wrong step because a woman really has many things in her mind, but she could not show all those because of the upholds and restrictions made by the society. I believe that a world where women could go outside without being feel endangered or without being tensed would be the perfect world. Well, let's move to the topic of women empowerment. So basically, the word empowerment means feeling entitled to do something from your own self, like without any restrictions or limitations or anyone's consent. Empowerment is usually lacked in women, like not in a modern women, but then in the rural women, because they're not being viewed through that empowerment due to lack of their education. According to the national boards and all those scientific boards, it is said that a woman must have at least 1% sense of feeling entitled in order to have the sense of empowerment and in order to believe that something she could do is usually right. Well, we all know about social media, right? Like even we have social media accounts and we have seen many hashtags. So that hashtag has become an important role model in playing the women empowerment because through that all around the people around the globe can see how a woman struggles in a particular area. A woman must have a fighting sense in her mind because if she lacks one, that means we have no chance to shut the hell of the society. Society must be trained, and I believe that they must insert a realism and naturism and feminism spirit in their minds because in that way we could believe that could help us to become a better society and a better knowledge one than the other and the older society. We have all heard stories about brave women, isn't it? But how many of us has that particular feeling in your minds? I'm sure that the answer would be a big no and only 10 or 20% of us have that feeling in our mind. In order to do that, we must all have confidence and we must believe that we could do anything we want. Like women broke barriers to prove their existence. Just imagine the amount of pain they must have gone during the 90s and the 80s. Some of my top inspirations include Wangari Maathai, the Queen of Katwe, Fiona, Hima Das from our own state, and Michelle Obama, the former First Lady of the US. I believe that they have inspired me so much that I'm able to stand here and speak about the women empowerment and struggles and all those topics related to a woman's life in a modern period. But one thing we must keep in mind is coming home or going out home late isn't cool at all, because it is of our own safety and the limited resources available at the night time. A better role, according to me, when I was a child, included where men and women would go hand in hand, where one's ability to do something was based on one's quality and not upon one's gender. I just imagine when would that day come when we would finally be able to have equality with the men. While in many countries, women are not able to get educated because of their less pathways in the schools, and I believe that should be usually stopped because everybody should get education, and education is the powerhouse to get introduced to something new. While in many countries, gender inequalities persist. Like even in India, still there are many places where inequalities continues, and even if you try to correct them, they be like, no, it's our tradition, we can't go against our tradition. It's the ancestral way, we can't go against the ancestral way. So my clap back to them would be, just take your ancestral way with you and don't just spread it amongst the world. Keep it in your own heart or either destroy it if you want to stay in this modern world. And I believe that I wouldn't have got a better opportunity to outcast my shows and views if Kalpana ma'am hadn't given me such an golden opportunity to speak my views about it. So I shall be forever grateful to her. Well, I know that time is precious and no one wants to spend it knowingly, so here I come to an end to my 14 years of experience as a woman growing up partly in Assam and Mizoram. Thank you.